And the first thing that I want to talk about is Trump's new executive order suspending immigration into the U.S. through December 31st. Now, you will remember back in April, we hosted on the OneMicShow attorney Fatmata Bari, and she was talking about the executive order that was signed then, that suspended immigration, like including on people who had green cards, or rather people who had applied for green cards, people who are waiting to come into the U.S. It was suspended at that time, and it was going to go into 60 days. And before the 60 days, just like they promised in that executive order, that they will revisit and they will do a review. And the review was done. And there was a number of other people who were included in this executive order, including what's called H-1B and H-2B visas. These are the visas for temporarily coming to work in the United States. So I want to get to the panel right away, and this was extended all the way through December 31st, and this clearly being red meat owing to the fact that there's an election coming up in November. Donald Trump clearly trying to pander to his base by suspending immigration. And this is legal immigration we are talking about. It's not illegal immigration. We're talking about H-1B and H-2B. So I'm going to get started with the panel, and I'm going to go straight to you, Uno, to get us started today. Salimia wasikilizaji, and tell us what you think about this. Uno, twende kazi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni tena to a non-co presentation. Asante sana, Mjuku. The extension of non-immigrants. I can say this, objectively looking at it, on one side, I see where he's coming from. With that many number of jobs lost, and trying to save whatever is there, priority should be the people who are within the country, who are here legally and who are within. And on that angle and on that particular one, I cannot fault him in as much as it's red meat, but when you look at the numbers of the unemployed people coming in, so you're looking at, 17 million, I think 17 million, or the numbers are, it's more than that. It's what, 30 million, 40 million?
I know it's over 15%. I don't know the exact numbers, but current unemployment is over 15%. We are heading towards the Great Depression levels.
Yeah, so now you have those guys who are unemployed, and then you have people immigrating legally here who will also be trying to look for work. So in addition to you, in addition to the people who are here, guys who are here who have already been in unemployment, who have been joboing, then people coming in. So you'll be fighting. It will be a fight. So not only are you fighting within, not only are you fighting for a job within the people who are here, the people who are also coming in are going to come into a tough time. Do I see his point, his angle? I do. It's definitely red meat, but it's one of those situations that catch-22. He's doing what he needs to do to protect even the people who are here, legally here, but also he's also giving his base bait. Back to you in the studio.
All right. Asante sana. Uno seems to feel that he's giving his base bait. I want to welcome Juno Buru all the way from North Carolina. Karibu sana. Barbie Babs, welcome to the One Mic Show. Ananiuliza Alibadawi, quarantine diet inakupelekaje. I don't know whether that's a compliment or, a subtle criticism. Sijui. Barbie Babs, labda tuelezee vizuri. Quarantine diet iko sawa. And then tunamkaribisha pia Fan Elizabeth. Let me go to Mika. What do you think about what Uno has said? Whatever Donald Trump is doing right now, he's kind of making sense. Unemployment levels are high. People are looking for jobs. So we need to suspend those temporary workers coming in for the sake of Americans. Mika, salimia wananchi na twende kazi.
Good evening to viewers. It's another episode. Welcome to another episode of Happy Hour. And I want to say, Ali, as in, it's a nice little rosy package that one mic has tried to package and send out there, but let's be realistic about these things. Most of the visas he denied are usually used by tech companies, and also he denied the visa whereby we have South Americans who come and harvest crops for the farmers in the country, those temporary. And being realistic, there's a reason why those visas are available. Number one is that if we go to the tech field, those H-1B1 visas, which most tech companies will give to expatriates to come here and work on those jobs. It means they do that because there's no market for that job, or there's no market for that. There are no people to fill out that job market. So it doesn't mean just because we have 35,000 or 35 million people who have lost jobs, that all those 35 millions can actually qualify to work for those available jobs that, quote unquote, he's trying to preserve for those Americans. Then when we go to the other one, whereby it's mostly legal immigrants who come in to do the harvesting for the produce from the farms. There's a reason why that job again exists for those legal immigrants to come from South America and do that job for a short time and go back. It's because nobody's doing it. Yes, we'll have people who might decide to go and work those jobs because they feel that they need to provide for their family in whatever way. But if you're being realistic, it doesn't help. It doesn't help in any way to preserve the jobs. But if you package it the way Uno says, he packages that and he goes sell it to his base. His base feels safe because his base safe. Okay, fine. He's keeping American jobs as he promised safe here, and he's denying people from coming into the country as he promised. So for me, it's nothing about caring about what the American citizen feels like. It's all a political ploy. There's nothing more that Trump did in that thing. That is just, it's not, if this pandemic happened 2 years ago when there was no election, he will not have reacted the same way he's reacting right now. So this is just politics. It's playing politics with it. There's nothing more. Back to you, Ali.
You're listening to the One Mic Show, live from Kilimanjaro's studio.
All right, asante sana Mika. Before I go to Omosh, real quick, I want to go back to Uno because, I find, your analysis of this a bit interesting. You talked about Americans, looking for these jobs. We know there's very high unemployment right now, but we do have Americans, we do have jobs that are actually looking for people, because we know there's a food supply and the people who supply the networks of the supermarkets, those farmers. So are Americans, who are unemployed running towards those jobs right now, owing to the fact that, these farms are looking for workers and all these other places that are supplying the food chain of America are looking for workers. Real quick, 1 minute before we go to Omosh. Uno, real quick.
No, I don't think many Americans can actually do the farm work that would be there. You remember when the chicken plant was raided? I can't remember where it was, and a lot of most of the people who were there were either undocumented or didn't have papers. And then the following day, there was a surge in numbers of people looking for work. The main idea, the thing that is interesting is, in as much as, I'll go back, in as much as what Mika is saying, and I agree with Mika, trying to protect most of the jobs, like our tech jobs, there's a certain skill that you need. Picking up a cash crops or whatever, it's not that it requires a skill, but it just needs you to work hard. Would Americans be willing to go to that farm, pick up the cash crops, pick up the crops, do the day labor job, physical job? At the end of the day, some of the documentaries that have been online, have been airing, show that farmers are really struggling to even get locals or citizens to come in and work. Most of the people willing to do that job are unfortunately either undocumented or undocumented, or guys who are well, of course, we're going to say that coming from either Mexico to work in those places. So in my assertion of him trying to protect jobs, That is the message that he's sending out to the base, that he's trying to protect their jobs. But those same guys would probably not want to be in a farm or work in or probably want to work in a chicken farm or a slaughterhouse. Back to you, Ali.
All right, thank you so much. And I want to welcome all our other listeners. Alice Madhu Karibu Sana. Alice Madhu is stuck at the point that Ali said Trump has a point. I think I was quoting Uno, so I think
Yes,
I'm gonna get away from
me.
that. Yeah, I think I was quoting Uno on that, and that's just what we're trying to find out. Like the point, some of the visas that have been cancelled have been rather suspended are H-2B. H-2B visas are for those farm workers. Like people who come here temporarily to do those jobs that Americans don't want to do.